Welcome, friends. Today's story was submitted by Sudden Ad 3041 on the Let's Not Meet subreddit. It's a long one, so lay back and relax. At the Bottom of the Hill, Part 1. First time poster here. I live in a very rural area in Tennessee, and this happened either the summer of 92 or 93, so I was a preteen. I can still see this in my mind, like it happened yesterday. Like I said before, a rural area in Tennessee, where we used to have some serious issues with people dumping unwanted, worn-out items and garbage down our beautiful hillsides and ravines. At that time, it was common to find illegal dumping sites everywhere because there was no bulk pickup offered by our one waste disposal monopoly. In this part of the state, the economic disparity is obvious. You have some of the poorest people and some multiple mansion and vacation homes folks. My family fell somewhere in the upper middle class. Thinking Titanic, we would be in either the lowest rung of first class or the very top of second class. Unfortunately, the majority would be in steerage or the coal bunker. Well, it was August in Tennessee, aka sun-scorching heat, and enough humidity to make it slightly uncomfortable to breathe. Many describe it as the swamp-ass capital of the state. Anyway, we had just had an extraordinarily rare murder in our county. It was all that anyone was talking about. It was all you heard in our churches and beauty salons. The victim was largely unknown, a woman in her early 30s and nowhere near wealthy. I didn't know her, nor did anyone. She had moved here less than a year ago and kept to herself, and had not been reported missing. Then, just before our summer break came to an end, this lady was found at the base of a steep incline, deep in one of our densely wooded areas, by some folks out for a nature hike. There she was, found at the base of a large illegal dump on a winding dirt road that was barely wide enough for one vehicle. If you met another car, one of you would have to pull over so far you were almost off the road entirely. Even creepier, the road was named Bone Road. Yeah. When she was found, she had lost everything from the neck up, but both her upper and lower areas were recovered. Her killer had not been caught. So, my mom was born and raised here, and was of strong, yet goofy stock. She has always been my best buddy, even when dropping the hammer on my brother and me. She was loved by every student she had ever taught. Our friends adored my goofy mama, often telling me how lucky I was to have her. My dad was a pharmacist in our area, smarter than most, and happy to go fill a lost or forgotten prescription even late into the night. My dad isn't from here but is very well known because of his job. Everyone knows my mama because she and most of our huge family have been here since our ancestors settled here in the 1800s. The rest of her family lived in Middle Tennessee. On that day in August, we had been at a family reunion picnic at the beautiful, naturally made lake we lived near. Suddenly, a scattered thunderstorm had popped up and brought our get-together to an end. It was just me and my mom, but on the ride home, we decided we were Sherlock Holmes and Watson. We wanted to see the crime scene. I know, brilliant. My dad was at work and my brother was with a friend. This was 92 or 93, so no GPS, Alexa, Siri, or Google Earth. Not even MapQuest. My dad was on our school board and had been given a highly detailed map of our entire county. Since neither of us knew how to reach Bone Road, it was agreed the map would be our guide. We went home, grabbed the map, and set out like we were Magellan. We eventually found the place and headed to the spot. Being the ignorant rubberneckers we were, we just planned to drive past this stupid dump site. I can't explain how creepy this place was. A murder dump in the middle of BFE, on a road that started with blacktop, transitioned to gravel, and then good old dirt. It was mid-afternoon, but the sudden rain on the August ground made the area steamy. Literal steam was emanating from the road, the fields, the woods, everywhere. That just added to the thrill of our folly. As we approached the location, there was a blind curve, making it impossible to see the place until you were right up on it. When we rounded that corner, we saw we were not alone. A very dirty man had his very dirty truck pulled over at the dump, just far enough to allow us to pass. Sure, Joe Dirt could have been just another looky-loo like us, but he gave off a creepy AF vibe, just standing by his truck, looking down into the dump. It wasn't a sheriff's officer. We know all our local authorities, and they had cleared the location a day or so before. Anyone could access the area. As we squeezed past his truck, he was standing on the passenger side of our car. I'm 12 or 13, I can't drive, so he was on my side as we passed. So close to him, I could see his 2 teeth clear as day. He just smiled in this uber creeptastic, almost leering way. Not nice, not friendly. We got past and thanked the Lord that Mr. Two-Tooth hadn't followed us. We agreed we would reach the end of Bone Road and get the hell out of there. Oh, you know there's a but. We reached the end of Bone Road, ending at a field. Bone Road was a dead end, no pun intended. My mom said the words I'd been screaming in my head. OF**K. We had no choice. We had to do a 5-point turn and go back from where we came. Oh, I bet he's gone now. My mom's feeble attempt to soothe us both. Guess what? He was still there, still smiling his huge 2-tooth smile. Now, as my adult self reflected on this, he could have come after us, knowing we would be cornered. But neither of us has ever been accused of being too rational. We made it out unscathed, of course, and my dad hit the roof when he heard the tapestry of idiocy our afternoon adventure was. But, you know there's always a but. Days later, our newspaper heralded the good news. The murderer was caught. The woman had been killed by a boyfriend turned stalker. She had moved here from a town about 45 minutes away to get away from him, but he found her. He just drove around with her body in his truck before happening on the dump. Happily ever after? No. As we stared down at this guy's mugshot, it was real. Mr. Two-Tooth was her killer. We never told my dad that part. Mr. Two-Tooth was convicted of first-degree murder and abuse of a corpse. He will die in the state prison system, serving life with no parole. Still, Mom and I promised we would never be so dumb again. We still have weird adventures, but not to freaky remote murder dump sites on unknown terrain. And with no one knowing where we are, we really could have met our literal dead end. It's an odd thing, knowing that you had been face to face with a brutal murderer, not once but twice. Well, I did have a super too close to call run-in with another murderer, but that will have to be another post on another day. Oh, but Mr. Two-Tooth, let's not meet. Ever. Again.